will help you in this regard. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Javed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to room 1 and to the session A1, which is entitled with wood. So this means wood from oil palm trunks. And we will see in this first session today 5 presentations, a mix of basic research, but mainly most of the presentations in this first part deal with process development for the processing of oil palm trunks into timber-based products. We will see another session after the next break, which consists of 6 presentations afterwards, generally with the same subject. So I have the pleasure to invite the first speaker. The first speaker is now Dr. Moehringer from Germany. Dr. Moehringer is owner and CEO of Moehringer Company, a company which is specialized on primary processing of wood, especially of stems and trunks breakdown. And he is also now the main, what should I say, the main speaker of PalmwoodNet. PalmwoodNet R&D group on oil palm trunks, German 5 core partners and some 15 to 20 associated partners in Germany, in Europe and in Asia. But I'm sure that Dr. Moehringer will explain the background of his work. I know Mr. Moehringer quite long, and since, when I remember correctly, Dr. Moehringer is working on oil palm trunk processing since about 7 or 8 years, very intensively. So Dr. Moehringer, you have the floor for the next 15, 18 minutes, followed by a few questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Arno Frühwald. I hope everybody can understand me well. Good morning and good afternoon to everybody joining this conference. It's a pleasure to present our results and ideas of PalmwoodNet in this session. So thank you very much, Professor Frühwald, for organizing this special session within the BiPalma conference. I would like to share now my screen. I hope everybody can see it well. So, as a short introduction, as Professor Frühwald already introduced, we are looking to an unused material resource, the oil palm trunks. They have very interesting characteristics. We are talking about fiber reinforced natural material. Of course, this comes along with also challenging characteristics like the sugar, like the starch. So this all has to be taken into account when we want to produce solid timber from this trunk. One of the characteristics are the wide density range from inside to outside of the trunk. That was also mentioned by Professor Frühwald. So if we only use 50% of the trunks, leaving the 50%, the top of the trunk and the leaves in the plantation for fertilizer, we still have a very huge potential of 60 million cubic meter trunk material per year in the countries Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand, which is quite a lot to stimulate more than 150,000 jobs in the additional jobs in the timber industry, and also about 10 billion euro of value adding per year. So what is our project background of PalmwoodNet? We started in 2013 in a small group initial discussion with Professor Frühwald and Dr. Dieter Fink from Freiburg, where we had first ideas to look a bit more in detail can we use this material for solid timber? And we imported the first logs from Malaysia at that time and tested. And it looks quite promising. So we enlarged our activity with more industrial partners. And in 2015, we founded, together with the core partners, our cooperation network, PalmwoodNet. And then between 2016 and 2018, there was a very intensive R&D phase where we tested the whole value chain from the harvesting of OP trunks to final products with our various partners and all the different process steps which need to be done. And then now the last 2.5 years from 2019 on is mainly focused on the industrialization of turnkey plants by our company as a general contractor, and that was also supported by Dr. Dieter Fink from Applicatio. So who is PalmwoodNet? Who are the partners? We have 5 core partners in our network. That is the company Leitz and Böllerit, who are responsible for the tooling. Then the company Jobert for the glue, the company Minda for the pressing technology, my company for all the sawmilling and handling automation technology, and the Palmwood R&D group, which has been responsible for the product development, engineering, and also ecological aspects. Then we have a whole group of associated partners, universities from Germany, from Hamburg, Ostwestfalen-Lippe, from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, and also additional industrial partners, which helped us to develop all the necessary processing steps. The vision of PalmwoodNet is to use this unproductive source to provide sustainable and profitable business to deliver green products. The mission of PalmwoodNet, using all our engineering expertise and the know-how of the PalmwoodNet partners to provide comprehensive and scalable solutions for a sustainable utilization of oil palm wood. Okay. So, what do we need to be successful on this approach? We had to look into the product and markets. We looked into the technology, the machinery, the tools, the adhesives, then all the required production processes along the value chain, how the production facilities need to be designed, and also the ecological assessment and processing costs and final evaluation. Following the properties of OP, we have to consider the wide range of wood densities between about 180 and 650 kilogram per cubic meter. Then, of course, the properties like we don't have branches, we don't have knots, we don't have cracks like a normal timber. We have this isotropic distribution within the trunk, and these properties lead to the final product range. We consider mainly 2 groups of final products. One group are the panels, solid wood panels, lightweight panels for the furniture industry. And then we are looking at the second group of products, the construction elements like CLT, like glue lamp beams for the building and construction timber industry. So, for example, flush doors can be an interesting application. Also wall and ceiling element, because it has very good acoustic characteristics. Glue lamp for the building industry, and up to the cross-laminated timber, which is now has a strong growth worldwide as a building material to build complete walls, ceilings, and houses out of a massive timber wall, that you see here. Before we focused on these 2 product groups, we did a lot of market investigation. We have participated to several exhibitions worldwide in Dubai, in China, Jakarta, and also 2 times at Ligna in Germany, where we presented our produced prototypes, our models, and we have been talking to potential buyers to gain feedback from the market players concerning acceptance, the uses, the quality requirements, and of course prices and volumes of potential buyers. That was very, very important to do this market investigation. In general, there's a big potential for so-called engineering wood products as a future building material, as an alternative to concrete, steel, and hardwood. So this is the report, market report by Allied Market Research, estimates this potential to 41 billion by 2022. So this is a really an interesting potential where we are facing in. What did we do as the individual steps to come from this log to a sawn and nicely molded product? Short introduction of my company. We are a family-run business now by myself in the 4th generation. We have been always focused on machinery for woodworking processes and our range of products. Our company is based in north of Bavaria, between Frankfurt and Nuremberg, roughly, with 2 sites. And our range of products is focusing from the log yards, so handling of logs, debugging of logs, sorting, scanning of logs, then the different sawing technologies. We have fully automatic sawing centers developed for this purpose. Then the preparation of the sideboards, the optimizing edges to rip and edge sideboards by also optimization technologies. And then also the necessary stacking and sorting systems for a relatively automated way of production. We are represented in 35 countries worldwide to provide all the service, after-sales service, which is necessary afterwards. We did really simulate the full value chain. So we imported several times logs from Malaysia to Germany to do all the testing and sawing in different unities. We did classify and pre-sort the oil palm trunks. And then you see the feeding into a sawing line together with optimization, special optimization patterns for this material. We did the sawing tests of oil palm trunk. That is the second go around with the square piece inside. These are the sideboards of OPT. You see quite nicely the barking soon and also the high density material. Then we did all the pre-sorting, grading of the material, of the sawn lumber. Then of course also the finishing, the kilns and the finishing stacks. And then of course also the final treatment of the material, the pressing and gluing panels. So in general, we can provide all the necessary steps of processing from the harvesting via the sawing, drying of timber, sorting and ripping, machining, applying the glue, pressing, and doing final processing to the panels or the building material. To get at the final end, the engineered products, like you can see here on top, the 2 example types of panels, 1-layer and 3-layer panels, or the building material, the glulam and the CLT. A few words to the economic outcome of such a project. We designed 3 modular plants, which can be combined, which can be scaled in the future to bigger units. So we have the input capacities of 50,000, 80,000, and 130,000 cubic meter per year, which seems to be a quite good size, because this has to correspond to appropriate a piece of land, which major mature palms, so about 40,000 hectares are needed to get out 106 1 million.
Stefan, sorry to interrupt you. 3 minutes is left for you.
Okay, thank you. So to get about 1,600 hectare per year, and this is the volume which we need to feed a capacity of 130,000 cubic meter per year. That comes to an output of between 17,000 and 45,000 cubic meter per year of pure OP materials. So that is roughly an overview of the investment costs of a plant with an input of 130,000 cubic meter per year. So for the equipment, about 14 million, then technical infrastructure building, 1.8, 4.8 million, working capital. So in total, we are talking of an investment of roughly 22 million euro for such a plant. We can reach a revenue of 19 million cubic euro per year when selling about 45,000 cubic meter of final products. And this is just an extract of the cash flow calculation. We can come down to a payback of about 3.5 years and an internal rate of return of 27%. So this shows that the production of OP products is can be highly profitable. This also was mentioned already by Professor Frivola. I just mentioned one figure. So 1 cubic meter of OPT can lead to a CO2 reduction of 1 ton CO2. So this is quite considerable in the total project. As a summary, the company Moehringer offers turnkey plants as a general contractor, supported by our PalmwoodNet partners. We have scalable and industrial-ready solutions for that. They are highly efficient and computerized. And we are, of course, very proud to be chosen by IOI Palmwood Malaysia as a first customer in Malaysia to deliver such a plant, including sawmill and panel manufacturing plant. And Peter Fitch, the CEO of this company, will be the next in our session. So I'm looking forward to this fruitful cooperation. Thank you very much for our listeners. Please send me something in the chat or send me an email. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Moehringer, for this presentation. Are there any questions? If I have a question, Dr. Moehringer. So you have been talking about turnkey plans, so which includes everything, and you also talked about Peter Fitch from Palmwood International, so Palmwood Malaysia as the first customer. So my question is, if we look to, for example, to Malaysia, there is a big problem in the timber industry with wood supply. So the idea is that the existing timber industry could use OPT. So the question I have is it wise to set up everything new, maybe with new actors thinking different as the existing industry? Or would it be possible or even advisable also to approach the existing timber industry, the existing mills, to convert their mills from tropical timber or from rubber wood, for example, into oil palm trunk processing industries? So one side, the existing industry, the other side, new actors. What is your thinking about this?
Okay. I think, of course, it could be a good symbiosis to use, especially the know-how in timber processing to introduce this new material. Of course, the infrastructure needs to be quite a bit different because we need some special technology to produce it. We need also the kilns adapted. So a lot of technology has to be adapted. But of course, the knowledge in timber processing is helpful to set up this new type of production. In case of IOI Palmwood, there's the big advantage that Mr. Peter Fitch has a very long experience in timber processing. That's why, of course, he is in person a perfect combination of experience and, of course, the potential of a new investor like the IOI group.
Maybe I can also add a little bit to this.
Yeah.
Is just that a lot of the existing sawmilling operations in Malaysia are very small. They're typically you know, small operation with maybe one